It may still be winter, but if you're interested in being a work camper this summer, now's the time to start applying. In a minute, you'll hear some advice from a couple who's done it all, every kind of work camping job out there, and they've got good advice for you. Meet Jim and Rhonda Phipps. Jim and Rhonda Phipps have done just about every type of work camping job you can imagine. They love it. They say it enables them to live a full and vibrant RV lifestyle. So a lot of people are thinking about work camping, about volunteering. You guys have done it all. Tell everybody the kind of things that you've done.
Well, first thing we did was camp hosting, and it's at Michigan State Park, and we camp hosted for a month there. We were basically doing not cleanup things, but we were kind of the eyes and ears of the rangers. So we spotted trouble. We had to work and walk the whole park at least twice a day. We had
to do coffee for the campground people every Saturday morning, and then after we did coffee, we got to do crafts with all the kids.
This was your first time volunteering, right?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I got to play with other people's grandkids and do crafts all the time.
Yeah.
And we got to ride our bikes, and we happened to be there at Tawa State Park in May, and in May is when they have the big birding events, and so I got to learn all about birds from all the other birders.
Now, as volunteers, what do you get out of it? Do they pay you, or what happens?
Well, there's no real pay aside from your campsite, so it's a free campsite. And really and truly, I guess that is quite a fair chunk of money if you're looking at a whole month at a time. So, yeah, we get that.
People worry, did you have to clean bathrooms?
Not at Michigan State Parks,
No.
But if you go to other states and they do pay you, there's a small pay, then usually it does include cleaning the bathrooms.
Things like that, yeah.
So that was your first experience.
Right.
Yes.
What did you do next?
The sugar beets?
The sugar beets, yeah. We did something called a sugar beet harvest, and it's from American Crystal Sugar. It was on both sides of the Red River between North Dakota and Minnesota. And there are just all kinds of sugar beet farmers all around there. So they're located there so that the beets can be harvested. And we got interested in sugar beets because...
Well, my grandmother grew up on a sugar beet farm, and so when I heard that you could help with the sugar beet harvest, I thought, oh, I'll get to see what my grandmother did. Well, no, I didn't. For one thing, she did this in the early 1900s, so everything has changed. And we never went to a farm. We didn't see a farm at all. We worked at the factory.
Yeah, and the factory is really more than a factory. It's the piling site. What happens is the beets are harvested. They are put in big trucks. The trucks drive right through the fields, so they get all full of mud and dirt and yuck. And then they come to us at the piling sites. Now, our site had 8 different piles. The trucks come in, and then they are weighed, so they see how much they weigh. Then they come in and they are directed to one of the 8 pilers where we were at one of them. And then they come in and they drive through the piler and back in just a little bit. Gates close, and then they dump all the sugar beets out. And it's really cool. It's really noisy and all that stuff. It's kind of exciting. Our job really was to deal with the trucks.
Now, you got paid for that.
Very
we
well.
got paid. We got paid for that, yes.
Yes.
And they give you a free place to stay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's the weather?
It wasn't too bad this year.
Well, North Dakota has one element in its weather, and that's wind. It's always windy there. There's always a wind. So if it's windy and warm, okay. If it's windy and cold, that's okay. If it's windy and rainy, it's just kind of brutal. Not bad weather. They say there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
I got to remember that one. So you've been a volunteer at a park as a camp host. You've been 2 years in a row. You've been the sugar beet volunteers, and you've done one other thing out there. What's that?
Amazon.
Oh, this is Rhonda's favorite.
Amazon work campers, right? Workforce.
Right, we were workforce campers. So once again, we got a paid spot. And this year we were very lucky because our campground was directly across the street from the Amazon Fulfillment Center, so we could walk to work.
And where was that?
In Campbellsville, Kentucky.
Yes.
And what's that like? What's it like working for Amazon?
Again, I find it fun. This year we were pickers. And so we would push carts around, and we would pick the items that people had ordered and put them in the carts. And we walked from 12 to 14 miles a day.
No.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yes, it's quite physical. It's a physical job.
So I order a camera
Yes.
from Amazon, and eventually it comes to the fulfillment center. You actually go and physically pick it and bring it out?
Yes, I have a scanner, and the scanner tells me in this big, huge building which row to go to, which part of the building, which bin to pick it out of. I put it into a bin, and usually I pick 12, 15 other items and put them in the same bin, and then I put it on a conveyor belt, and it goes upstairs to the packing department, and then the packers put it in boxes, and you get it.
Wow.
It's really well.
Yeah.
It's really well.
And they pay you well for this?
Not as well as the sugar beet. We worked 7 weeks at Amazon and 2.5 weeks at Sugar Beet and made the same money.
Yeah.
But the sugar beets, we do a lot more physical. It's lifting the bags, it's scraping the mud off of the ground, it's cleaning the machine. Amazon's really not physical. You walk.
So why do you do all this, and how does this kind of fund the rest of your RV lifestyle?
Well, that's exactly why we do it, is we like to travel more than we really can afford to travel. So this way we can really travel as much as we want. We do that little bit of working a couple of months every year, and then the rest of the year we can do what we want traveling.
So what's your favorite of the 3 different volunteer and work camping jobs you've done? What did you enjoy the most?
Favorite? I think Amazon. We made a lot of friends both places. Actually, even in the volunteering one at at Tawas, we made a lot of friends. But we've made a lot of friends. We've just had a lot of fun doing it. It's interesting. It's something different.
Now, a lot of people are wondering about doing this. What advice would you give them? When do they need to start finding these jobs? And
we've already applied for both of them for next year. So
for Amazon and for the sugar
and the
beet
beet harvest, yes. And with the campground hosting, you have to check in December or January for Michigan. I don't know about other states.
Is there a resource that you can recommend that people can check to find these kind of jobs?
Yeah, on Facebook and online there's Work Camping News. You can Google Work Camp and come up with all kinds of sites. And in fact, that's sometimes better, because if you do, you find the little campgrounds out west or out in the south that need hosts for a couple of months or for the summer, and they pay, but then again, you're doing different kind of work. So there are a lot of resources, but we found everything online. It's all a lot of Google.
And you recommend this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. You've met friends, and you've enriched your own experience,
We have.
Yes.
and you've enriched your pocketbook a little bit.
Yes.
We have.
And Jim and Rhonda, thank you so much for helping share your experience as work campers and being able to live that RV lifestyle the way you want to live it.
Well, thank you
We got
very
it.
much.
Thank you.
We'll put links to all of those resources in the description below. But again, now's the time. You better start applying for those jobs. I'm Mike Wendland. Thanks for watching. And before you go, please subscribe to our RV Lifestyle channel right here on YouTube.